Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. A bitter last 7 days for Phoenix Rising forward Junior Flemings took on a sweeter note today after he was named Golden Boot winner in the United Soccer League USL. The 24-year-old Jamaica international scored 14 goals in 14 games to push the Phoenix team to top of Group B. On Tuesday this week, it was confirmed that Flemings would play no more football this season after he was banned for 6 games by the league for using a homophobic slur during an altercation with San Diego Loyal player Colin Martin. Flemings, who was on administrative leave pending the completion of the probe into the incident, remains on leave. His contract with Phoenix Rising is due to expire on November 30. Amid his tribulations, though, there have been messages of support for a young man who has represented the Reggae Boyz at every level. Joining us to talk about the situation is a team manager of the senior Reggae Boyz, Roy Simpson. Roy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but you're very low.
Okay. Is it any better? Is the audio any better?
A little better.
All right.
I'll strain my ear to continue to hear.
All right. Let's hope we can go on. So, Roy, the situation with Junior Flemings, firstly, based on the facts that the public knows, based on what you saw from the footage I know you would have looked at, and based on the considered decision of the USL, 6-game suspension and undisclosed fine, he remains on administrative leave. What do you make about the, I don't want to say congruence, that was in my mind. What do you make of the punishment and the crime and whether it fits?
Well, I think when I spoke to Junior, even earlier today, he still continues to hold the position that he expressed to me when we first discussed it, in terms of he did not say anything of such. Sometimes, you know, how I look at it, and when I said to him, I say, it's an alleged crime. The consequences of it is the suspension, the administrative leave. You have no control over that. The good thing is that you will be still paid. Your contract expires ending in November. There were some, when I spoke to his agent, there were some possible moves being pursued prior to this situation. I am hoping that this situation and the conclusion of it, you know, does not affect him in terms of what his ambitions are to move on to another league or another club. It is a situation, though, that I want all players to understand, that you have to understand that the cultural norms that we tolerate in our space, when you're operating in a different country, environment, space, you have to try and understand that what is acceptable in your original space, it is not in certain space. Saying that, though, I'm not implying that what Mr. Fleming is accused of, it is so because he has denied it. He continues to deny it. But it's a learning experience for everybody. And the major point is we have to understand the environment in which we operate in.
I take that, Roy, but I want you to be a bit stronger on the verdict of this thing, because he was the subject of an investigation. The investigation ran its course and he was found guilty. So, you know, I see no reason for you to say that it is an alleged crime, notwithstanding Junior's protestations that he did nothing wrong. I know several people who've been convicted by the court who maintain that they did nothing, but the record shows that they were guilty, and there's nothing wrong in speaking of it in those terms, that Junior Flemings was accused of something. He was subject to an investigation, or the subject of an investigation which ran its course, at the end of which he was found guilty. Now it's about the repair and hoping that the young man remains in a good place. And so, from that perspective, Roy, I ask, he was moved early in the piece to go on social media and issue a denial of a defense of himself in the wake of abuse heaped on him by those who were defending Colin Martin and who were upset at what at that time he was only alleged to have said. He defended himself on social media. Has the JF, you said you've spoken to him, but tell us about what you have said to him and the kind of support the JFF will extend to him in this time to keep him in a good space and to cheer him up as he looks to sort out the rest of his career at the end of a campaign when he has been at his very best at this level.
And ironically being awarded the Golden Boot.
Yes.
It is a situation where, we have not much control over. The verdict is what it is. I have not heard Junior or his associate speak of an appeal. I think speaking to his agent is just to sit down with the club and to see if they'll re-engage him. If not, they will pursue other options, which I indicated prior that I hope that this situation does not affect him. We at the JFF, we're aware of what the verdict is. We continue to support him in the sense that we always say to our players that, your responsibility as a national player supersedes you just being on the pitch. Situations happen. We consider ourselves a family. And if one of our family members is out or down, we see it as our responsibility to continue to support him. Support him in a way that let him understand that these situations can be avoided, although he's continuing to defend himself based on the allegation that he's innocent. But at the end of the day, you can't beat City Hall, so you conform.
Roy, based on your conversation with Junior earlier today, apart from, pleading that he's innocent, what is his mood like? Does he have a backup plan? Let's just say come the end of his contract, he doesn't get it renewed. Does he have any future plans? What is he saying?
He's quite upbeat, quite disappointed in the verdict. Feeling a little, ill-treated in terms of what he's alleged to have said. But we try to be positive. As I said, he was pursuing some other options, which were very near to conclusion. We hope that that situation that his agent and himself is pursuing, that whatever the verdict is will not affect him. But I think he's quite upbeat, understands the situation, but we continue to encourage him that, for me personally, I don't look at things as being bad or good.
Yeah.
I look at everything that happens as an experience. It is what you take from the experience and use it to make you a better person. I think Junior is on that course.
Roy, when I looked at the entire case, and of course Junior in particular, because he's only 24 years old and of course very promising, 14 goals, 14 matches. I mean, his records speak for itself. Did you find in any way that this punishment was too harsh? And I'm asking this from the point of view that, whenever young promising players, and in no way do I condone using homophobic slurs or being racist to anybody. But my question to you is, when he was meted out this sort of punishment, did you think in any way it was extremely harsh, and that when we're dealing with youngsters, we need to probably let them down a little bit gentler?
I don't want to speak on the harshness of the verdict, because I am not privy to the transcript of the investigation or the meeting that was held. He's 24. I am not also aware of the rules of that competition, how they treat with situations like this. I don't know what the maximum fines or the maximum suspensions are. So if the rules indicate that the verdict and the ruling and the suspension is within the rules of the competition, then you wouldn't be saying that it is too harsh. But not knowing what the rules are, not even getting the transcript of what the meeting was about, it is hard for me to say, it is harsh or just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Roy, as you just outlined, you didn't get a transcript of the entire investigation and so on, but just from where you sit, wasn't it a bit strange as well that the San Diego lawyer apparently had no punishment for walking off the field? Usually, in any kind of competition, a team takes a position like that, they would be punished because they broke the rules as well.
Even Donovan entering the field of play without permission, when that red card was shown to the player to stop the game, they did not take the second half because of a certain situation. Generally, the rules of competition speaks specifically to situations like those. We have not heard anything on that.
A bit tough there. And we note curiously, Roy, that in the statement coming from the UCL, although the words suggested that he was found guilty, the word guilty was not used at all. Obviously, based on the punishment, it is obvious that they found him guilty, but they did not say that. And the fact is that Junior Flemings insists that he did not say the words he was accused of saying, and it's just a sad story all around, isn't it?
It is, but again, you can't be City Hall. So, you know, if they judge you being out of line, I guess they're all still responsible for your sentencing. But it's a sad situation. I think, though, from a football platform, we should have been looking at all the issues, the ones we spoke of: disruption of the game, abuse of the official, and it is just unfair to zero in into a particular situation. I understand that if that was said or what is alleged to have said, it is wrong. We don't tolerate that. But justice must be across the board. And if you're going to fine and sentence the player, you also have to look at what else happened.
But Roy, let me tackle you on that, Roy, in the final
Sure.
30 seconds we have. In this day and age where these things are highly emotive and highly sensitive, the issues of racism and discrimination because of sexual orientation and all of that, can you imagine if the USL had sanctioned San Diego Loyal for walking off the field in protest at what they believed to have been a lack of attention and action in a situation where one of their own was the victim of a homophobic slur? Can you imagine what that would have meant for the USL? So in that context, can you not see why the league chose not to act in punishing San Diego Loyal?
Hello?
Yes, Roy, did you hear that?
No, I didn't get that. You broke off in the middle of it.
All right, I'm saying in a context of heightened sensitivity around matters concerning racism and homophobia and discrimination against sexual orientation or sexual identification, I can call it that now. Can you not see why the USL chose not to act against a San Diego Loyal team that walked off the field because of a sense of injustice, that one of their own, the victim of a homophobic slur they believe, and that no attention was given to the issue and that no action was taken, and so they left the field? Can you imagine the USL acting against them in this environment and the trouble that would cause?
No, Mota Baruka sings a song in a good to be in a white man country. And I think it is so fitting in this context, in the sense that they wouldn't have looked at what San Diego Loyals did, because to them the major issue is what Junior is alleged to have said. I don't see them even acting on Donovan situation or the club in itself situation.
Well, Donovan I can understand, but for the club itself, I'm saying what it is about precedent. And if it is that in future, and I'm certain it will happen, that a black player is subjected to monkey chants or racist abuse, and unlike what has happened so far, say for instance in the English Premier League, what happened to Raheem Sterling at Stamford Bridge, and the Man City players decide, you know what, we're walking off the field, and they leave the field. Can you imagine the Premier League and the FA in England sanctioning City for walking off the field because they felt that one of their black players was subjected to racial abuse on the pitch and the referee didn't deal with it nor take action in that regard? So I'm saying from that perspective, the league, the USL, said, well, we dealt with the issue that caused the match to fall apart, and let's just leave it there for now. In this climate, I'm saying in that context, can you not understand and accept the reason behind the USL's decision not to punish San Diego Loyal, even as we accept that Landon Donovan, something should have been done about him?
Yeah, but justice must be justice. It can be convenient to a particular situation. You have to deal with every situation if you're dealing with justice and truth. Cannot be conveniently dealt with.
Well, Roy, we could carry this because I'm saying a black player again, and you have to compare these things because this is what we are. This is where we are now. A player who's racially abused who walks off the field in tears. His teammates run behind him, encourage him to come back on. Remember, that player has left the field without a permission of the referee and can be sent off, probably ought to be sent off according to the rules. But no referee would pull a red card in that circumstance. So again, that puts justice on its head. Justice is not absolute, and there are no absolute rights.
But George, it's two different situations, you know.
No, I'm not saying it's not two different situations. What is the commonality, Roy, is the highly sensitive and highly charged atmosphere that we are operating in, where everything is like it's extra sensitive, extra attention is being placed on it, and extra scrutiny, and people are wanting to be more politically correct than before. So I'm saying I'm with you, that something should have been done, but I'm trying to understand the USL, Roy, from the USL's perspective, why they chose not to act on the other side. That's what I'm just trying to understand and reconcile.
I am with you on that too, George. But I'm saying, if we're going to fix situation and don't allow things to happen again. Even if, for example, a Junior Fleming had came out and said that I had done it. Okay, you'd have dealt with him based on he admitting guilt. You would still ignore the situation of the coach going onto the pit and the team not going out.
Yeah.
Back. No.
Problematic. Those things have to be dealt with. Yes. So we're agreeing. We're agreeing then. Roy Simpson, the line was bad, but we soldiered on. Thank you very much for your time. All the best to you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, man. So Junior Fleming's golden boot, but banned for the rest of the season. Disappointing end to a very good USL season for the young man. We hope that this is just a stumbling block and he can go where his talent demands that he finish up. And yeah, his talents, I believe, bigger than the USL. More after the break on the SportsMax Zone.